Welcome back to the channel, or welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers, so please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. Guys, get down in that description box. Click on that Instagram link. Give me a follow on Instagram at Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor. And then send me a DM to let me know that you're rocking with me, and so that I can say thank you. I appreciate all of you guys supporting me over this last year on these live streams, especially on Sundays when I do the actual Q&A, which we'll do a Q&A today. But I do got some bad news. I won't be doing the Q&As anymore on YouTube. This is the last one. Now, I'll do live streams every single day like I've been doing probably for the past 90 days. I think since January of this year, I've been doing live streams every day on the YouTube channel. And that's my commitment to you guys. I'm going to continue doing that because I love doing it. But I'm not going to do the Q&A portion anymore when I'm in the live streams. I've decided to take that over to my mentorship group through my website, www.richardfain.net, which is the Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor website. That link is down in the description box. Second link down in the description box is the website link. So going forward, no more Q&As in the live streams on Sundays or any other day. The Q&As will be specifically dedicated to my mentorship group, like I said, through my website, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor website. And like I said, if you want to be a part of that mentorship group, you need to get down to the description box and click on the website. While you're down there, clicking on the website, and you get yourself over to the website, check out the digital products that we have to offer you guys to help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. A lot of you have already taken advantage of those digital products, and that's wonderful because, again, guys, it's all about execution. If you want to execute and you continue to execute, you get to wealth. If you don't execute, you get to nothing. You don't change anything financially in your life if you don't execute, guys. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to take $10,000 and, change your financial life. $10,000 can change your financial life. And we're going to talk about that in today's live stream. And I will be taking questions. So if you want to ask a question, seeing that this is the last YouTube live stream where we'll be doing Q&As, where I'll be taking questions from you guys and answering them, then my recommendation, depending upon how many people come to the live stream today, it could be 500 people, it could be 1,000 people. And as people come in, and I'm gonna probably be on here for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending upon the level of questions I get. Seeing as this is the last one, if you got questions and you're just a casual watcher of the YouTube channel and you're not gonna join the mentorship group, this is probably your last chance to ask me your questions. And I would recommend you do it through Super Chat. That way you can get yourself to the top of the question list, because Super Chats take precedent over non-Super Chat questions. So as people come in the chat, it gets a little bit busier. Then my recommendation to you is, ask your questions through Super Chat so that you can make sure you get your questions answered. So down in the description box, like I said, is the link for my website, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor, www.richardfain.net. I created that website about a month ago. My daughters actually helped me create, well, I didn't create the website. My daughters actually created the website. And I went ahead and made sure we had some digital products on that website that back up the things that I talk about on the YouTube channel. So please get over to the website, check out those digital products. And then, like I said, if you want to be a part of my mentorship group, this is where I'll be mentoring my folks. I'll be mentoring them every single week for 90 minutes through private live streams through my website. So if you want to be a part of that, then go over to the website, sign yourself up. It's a paid mentorship group. So keep that in mind as well. And again, if you want to, great. If you don't, hey, I'll be here every day on YouTube. You can catch me here. You just won't be able to ask me any questions, right? Which is fine. Everybody don't need that. Some people just want to be able to take the nuggets, take the, that information and they can run with it. But some of us need more. We need more information. We need questions answered. So that's where the mentorship group is going to come in. And right now, we probably got a couple hundred people in the mentorship group right now. So, and I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks here. So it ain't for everybody. That's why I told you guys, it's going to be a small group of people. So it's worth it if you're saying, hey, you got 1,000 people in the chat. I can't really, you don't take questions. The mentorship group, we're going to have a couple hundred, maybe 250 people in there. And guess what, man? They're going to get me for 90 minutes every single week. And it's all about their questions. It's not about me just talking about what I want to talk about. It's only for their questions, only to walk them through the big three: how to build wealth with real estate investing, paper assets and businesses, side hustles, talking about credit and credit repair. All of that stuff we're going to do in the mentorship group. So if you're interested in that, like I said, man, get over to that website, sign up for the paid mentorship group. It's going to be worth it, in my opinion. You get a lot out of me for a little small amount of money. Trust me. And like I said the other day, I could charge thousands of dollars for this information we're going to be discussing, right? But I don't, right? I don't, because I do this because I really enjoy doing it. So the last thing, and then we're going to dive in to this concept of having $10,000 in your savings, and then I'm going to take your questions as well. Get down in the description box and click on that Moomoo link if you want to get up to 10, not up to, you're going to get 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven when you put $100 in your new Moomoo brokerage account. Guys, thousands of you have already done that. And that's kudos to you, because why? You're executing. See, that's the key. You got to execute. If you don't have a brokerage account, or you're not happy with the brokerage account that you have, or you don't mind having multiple brokerage accounts, why not execute and get yourself 10 free fractional shares? And what I've told people is, if you got another brokerage account somewhere, let's just say you got a brokerage account with Vanguard and you love Vanguard and you're doing your ETFs with Vanguard. You're heavily invested in your ETFs with Vanguard. I love Vanguard. I have an account with Vanguard. But guess what? I would use the Moomoo app to do my fractional share trading into the Magnificent Seven. Number one, they're going to give you 10 free fractional shares right off the bat. And then just do your fractional share trading in the Magnificent Seven on the Moomoo app. And then do your ETFs through whoever you got the ETFs through. That's okay, guys. Or do it all with Moomoo. See, I don't do every single thing with Moomoo, but it's my primary brokerage app. So if I'm buying the Magnificent Seven, if I'm buying more Tesla, if I'm buying more NVIDIA, bam, I just go right ahead and just use that. It's easy, it's simple, and I can keep it right there. If I'm doing big boy ETF investing, where I'm rolling over 401ks, or I'm rolling over a Roth IRA, or I'm creating a simple IRA, I do that through Vanguard. I ain't no shame in my game. But my everyday trading, I just can just do it through the Moomoo app. So if you're interested in that, get down to the description box. It's the first link. Sign yourself up. Put you some money in there, at least $100. Get the 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent Seven, and then you're ready to rock and roll. Well, okay, guys, let's move on. Since this is our last Q&A on YouTube, I thought, hey, why not talk about this concept of, getting yourself to a position where you got $10,000 in savings. Now, some of y'all might say, hey man, I ain't got no $10,000 in savings. I don't have it. I don't have 10,000. So what are you talking about? Can I not build wealth if I don't have $10,000 in savings? No. Here's the concept. The concept is you want to get yourself to a position where you do have 10,000 in savings. But there's some things you gotta make a commitment to in order to get to 10,000 in savings, right? The key is making the commitment to get to 10,000 in savings. Once you make that commitment and you got to 10,000, guess what? Now you're off to the races. Now let's just go build wealth. But see, you gotta set yourself up mentally and prepare yourself mentally to build wealth. And I think you do that with the $10,000. So how do you do that if you got zero in your savings account right now? How do you get $10,000 in your savings account if you got zero? For me, guys, it's pretty simple. You just go grab yourself some side hustles. That's it. You do whatever it takes side hustle wise to get your $10,000. That's it. It's not some secret sauce. It's not some, well, golly, I'm gonna wait. I can get this $10,000 next week. You can if you hustle. It may take you a week. It might take you 52 weeks. That's up to you. I know people right now can go out in 1 week and make $10,000. Just side hustles. Just hustling. I'm talking about legal hustling, not illegal hustling. Just legal hustling. They can go out and make $10,000 in 1 week. That's the difference between somebody that just makes a decision in their mind that they're going to make it happen. But the goal is to get to the 10,000 mark, because 10,000 is significant enough. It's such an accomplishment for a lot of people who got zero in savings that once you get that $10,000 in savings, you are so amped up mentally to keep going that you just keep doing it. There's sort of like a triggerer or a light bulb that comes on for people who can go from zero to $10,000. A light bulb comes on. Because one thing is, once you go from zero to 10,000, you believe you can go from 10,000 to 100,000. And once you make that first 100,000, then you say to yourself, why not do 1,000,000? That's the key to the 10,000. So I go from zero to 10,000. That's the first mental financial hurdle I got to cross. See, I don't go from zero to, I don't start thinking about zero to 100,000 or zero to 1,000,000 because I'll defeat myself, right? Most of us will quit if we take on too much of that. We don't want to go from, okay, golly, I'm going to go from 0 to 1,000,000 in a week. That's not realistic for 99.9% of us. It's just not realistic, not in a week. But it is realistic to go from 0 to 10,000 in a week if I'm willing to pay the financial price to do it. And that's the hurdle I want you, most of you guys who don't have 10,000 in savings, that's how I want you to start thinking. I want you to start thinking about 0 to 10,000, not 0 to 1,000,000, not 0 to 100,000, but 0 to 10,000. How fast can I get there? And that's the challenge. I want to challenge you folks out there who are at zero or pretty close to zero. I want to challenge you to get yourself from 0 to $10,000. Now, it may, like I said, it can take you a week. It can take you 52 weeks. That's up to you. But once you get to the 10,000, that's a celebration. Because that tells you, now I can go from 10,000 to 100. And what do I do to go from 10,000 to 100,000? The same thing you did to get from 0 to 10,000. That's how. How do you get from 100,000 to 1,000,000? The same thing you did to get from 10,000 to 100,000. That's what you got to do, guys. That's the mindset you got to have. But you got to start from 0 to 10. Once you get to 10, the light bulb comes on. Ain't no stopping you. Because now you know you can do it. A lot of us don't believe we can do it. But once you get there, man, and throughout the chat here, we're going to talk about some things you can do from a side hustle standpoint to get there. But the number one thing you can do from a side hustle is, like I said, if you got transportation, or if you have a home that you live in or an apartment that you live in, and you got extra rooms and extra space and you're okay and comfortable with it, start making money right now. If I got a car, I just go start driving Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, whatever. Just like that, instantly. Instantly. If I got 1 or 2 bedrooms empty where I live, guess what? Hey, I'll bring me a roommate in, right? There's a place here where I live here in Lee County, Florida, where I live, a place called Cape Coral, which is sort of like a bedroom community, pretty nice sized bedroom community. But you got people out there right now. I'm talking about people who own homes out there. They are bringing in and renting by the room. Let's say they got a 4-bedroom. They're occupying 2. They got 2 available. They're bringing people in at $700 a month. $700 a month for the other 2 bedrooms. That's $1,400 a month. 2 empty rooms just sitting there. Now, of course, they take people through background. They take people through credit check. They take people through, employment verification. You can't skip that part. You're gonna vet the people. But goodness gracious, you know how many people out there, guys, that are looking for a comfortable home where they can have their own little space? They're willing to pay $700, $800, $900 a month for that, guys. There ain't no excuses is what I'm saying. There is no excuses why you can't go from $0 to $10,000 in the matter of a week to months. You can if you just turn it on and go get it. If you execute, that's the key. You got to execute. So we're going to spend more time on that, but that was just 2 little quick ways you can do that. And I got many more, guys. The question is, are you willing to execute any of them? See, what a lot of us will sit back and say is, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. But yet and still, you don't even do anything to do this. You won't do that, but you also say you will do this, but you don't do anything to do this. It's just a lot of this. A lot of mouth and a lot of excuses. That's what a lot of us, we fall in that trap of just making excuses why we can't do something. Oh, I can't go to 0 to 10,000 in a week. No one can do that. Yeah, it is. People doing it every day. You got people out there making $10,000 a day. Stop making excuses. They ain't no smarter than you. They just have decided they're going to execute. That's the key. We got first super chat, and we got that coming from 21st Century Mind. Appreciate that, 21st Century Mind. Let's get to your question. My goal is to have 100K in savings. I'm halfway there. Then invest my future income until I reach $1 million. Is there anything wrong with this goal? Here's my question to you. Here's what I want you to think about. I go from 0 to 100K and it's in my savings. How much money is that going to generate for me on an annual basis? How much is it going to generate for me? See, here's my thing, guys. When you're saving money, I believe you're saving it to do what? Invest it. I don't just save money to save money, because that ain't gonna take care of me. Now, if I got $5 million in my money market account and it's producing, a couple $100,000 a year, yeah, that'll take care of me. But you need 5 million to do that. Even $1 million in your money market right now, if you're getting 4%, it's only producing $40,000 a year. That's $3,000 a month. Now, if $3,000 a month is all you need, 21st Century Mind to live on, then you're Gucci. But if you're saying to yourself, Richard, hey, at some point I want $10,000 a month coming in from my investments. You're not gonna get that from your savings account unless you got a lot of millions in there. You're not gonna get $10,000 a month in your savings account unless you got a lot of millions in there. So here's what I tell people: nothing wrong. See, I look at savings account as a storage unit. I look at it as a storage unit, right? Let's say I'm doing something in business, and I got a bunch of things. I got a bunch of product I'm trying to sell. Guess what I do? I go get me a storage unit until I'm ready to sell that product, until I'm ready to multiply that money through that product. All I do in my savings account, guys, this is a storage unit. until I'm ready to put that money into the big boy arena to where it will really multiply itself and get at least an 8% return. All I'm telling you is nothing wrong with savings account, guys, but let's not get it twisted. You got to have millions upon millions of dollars for it to create any type of significant passive income for you to take care of yourself. You take $1 million and put it into a 3% money market account, it creates $30,000 a year. But I can take that million and put it into something that's going to give me a 6 or 7%, and I double my income. That's the route we should be taking. Savings account is short-term storage. It's not, in my opinion, it's not there to generate enough income to take care of you. So if I got $100,000 sitting in my savings account, I don't know why, especially if I'm not at the enjoyment stage of wealth, you losing money. Why would I keep $100,000 in my savings account getting 3 or 4% when I could have it in an S&P 500 ETF and I'd have got 20% last year? I'm at 10% this year. If you're in the building stage of wealth, guys, the savings account is just a temporary storage unit until you can build up enough to get it into something that can really multiply it. When I'm in the enjoyment stage of wealth and I've already made my millions, then if I want to keep a significant amount of money in savings, that's okay, right? But while I'm in the building stage of wealth, that little 3 or 4% you get in your money market ain't going to cut it unless you got millions and millions of dollars. So my recommendation is, I'm going to keep my emergency fund in my savings account. Everything else is going into the market or going into the big 3 where I can multiply it at 8% every single year. That's what I would do. And then once I get my wealth, then I can transition some of that wealth back to savings and be okay. That's what I did. I never kept a lot of money in savings until now because why? I got 75% of my net worth in the stock market, 25% in cash. But it took me 30 years to be able to get in that position. When I was 26, I barely had anything in savings account. Everything was working. Why? Because I needed to grow it. And I knew my savings account is not going to grow it as fast as the S&P 500. It's just not. Go look at the history. But that's on you, though, 21st century mind. You do whatever you feel like you need to do. But you asked my opinion, and I gave it to you. There's no way I would have $100,000 in my savings account right now unless I'm at the enjoyment stage of wealth. Well, I've already built my millions. But if I'm trying to build millions, you got that 100,000 in the wrong place. That's just my opinion. But you guys do what you got to do, but that's my opinion. But appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Like I said, guys, if the super chat, that's the way we got to rock today. If you got a question, send it through super chat. We got you covered. Again, last Q&A on YouTube. For those of you who are just popping in and out of this thing, last Q&A on YouTube. The Q&As going forward will be a part of my mentorship group or my mentorship club, which is through my website, www.richardfain.net. And that link can be found in the description box of this video. So go consider joining the paid mentorship group so that you can continue to get in 90 minutes of me every single week answering questions and deep diving into the big 3 and into side hustles, right? And to mindset. I won't be doing any more of that on the YouTube channel. So the concept is I go from 0 to 10. And again, how do I go from 0 to 10? Side hustles. It's pretty simple. I don't go to 0 to 10 by going to bed one night and hoping and praying that somebody sprinkle fairy dust on my head while I'm sleeping and I'm gonna wake up the next morning and all of a sudden I have $10,000 in my savings account. 0. That ain't gonna happen. That only happens in Disney World movies. That don't happen in real life. Just on Disney, on the Disney Channel. That's where you get that. You get that on the Disney Channel. You don't get that in real life. See, in real life, we got to go out here and earn it. That's real life. There ain't no, oh, golly, I wish there was a way. There are 1 billion ways. We just don't want to do any of them. The way we want to do it is we want to go get a scratch off. Give me a scratch off. I'm going to go play $20 on the scratch offs. Let me go take $20 on the lottery so I can take the easy way out of this thing. There ain't no easy way, guys, to build wealth. You just got to get out there and execute. That's how you build wealth, right? You build wealth through execution. So all I'm telling you is, listen, the concept of going from 0 to 10 is really what you need to be concentrating on. Once you get to 10, you'll know how to get to 100. Once you get to 100, you'll know how to get to $1 million. See, when I made my first $10,000, when I had my first $10,000 in savings, you guys know how I did that? I was like 30 something years old. I didn't have no money in savings other than the emergency fund. Before I started my side hustles, I had no money in savings other than my emergency fund. Guess where all my money went? Stock market, real estate. What did I need $10,000 in savings for? Zero. Didn't need it. What was it? What was the purpose of it? Oh, golly, I need $10,000 in savings, getting my 0.50% return. Joker paying me pennies every single month. I look at my bank statement, I got pennies. I got 75 cents in interest on 10 grand. Come on, man. It's ridiculous, right? So when did I get $10,000? I was well into my 30s, guys. I probably was in my mid to upper 30s. And how did I get that? I started flipping watches online. I started flipping watches. Every dime I made from my 9 to 5, it went to take care of my family, it went to 401ks, and it went to real estate. I didn't have no $10,000 in savings. I'm 30-something years old. I started keeping money in savings when I started my side hustles and I started flipping watches. I started buying Rolex watches and Omega watches, Panerai, IWC, right? I started buying those watches online. Well, Richard, if you didn't have no money in savings, how did you afford those? How did you buy those watches? Credit card arbitrage. For you old school guys who've been rocking with me for a while, y'all know in the early days, 2020, 2021, you go back and look at my videos from 2020, 2021, where I was talking about credit card arbitrage and how I would take my credit card limits and turn them into cash without being charged a whole bunch of interest from the credit card company. See, if you know how to use these financial tools, you'll know how to do that. You'll know how to take credit card limits and turn them into cash without getting hit with a 22% interest rate. But you got to know how to do that. See, I knew how to do that. So I would take my credit card limits and I'd turn them into cash. I'd put them in my checking account. I put them in the savings account. That's the way I started keeping more money in my savings account. But the only reason I kept it there, why? It was to facilitate flipping watches. So I'd buy these watches, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them at a time. I didn't have no savings, but how would I pay for them? Through the credit cards. Oh, golly, Richard, what if you didn't pay them off in the 30 days? Well, hey, I had to put a fire under myself. I lit a fire under myself. I said, okay, Richard, figure out how to maximize these credit cards. Two ways I use to maximize those credit cards. And again, guys, I'm not telling you this for you to go out and get yourself in credit card debt. I'm not telling you this. I'm telling you how I got to a point where I was able to put $10,000 in my savings account and then take that $10,000 and then invest it into other assets. I'm telling you how in the world I did it. I'm not telling you you got to do it this way. I'm giving you what I did. See, I knew what I was doing. I knew how to use credit cards and maximize them and wring every ounce of financial power out of them. I know how to twist them and get it all out. So what did I do? I used two methods. I used two methods on my credit cards in order to facilitate my watch flipping business. Because remember, all of my money was in real estate and in the stock market. I didn't have no savings. So in order to pay for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of watches every month, I had to come up with a strategy. And my strategy was, goodness gracious, I got this good credit. I got these high credit card limits. They just sitting there wasting away. How about use those credit cards to facilitate that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month and spend to buy luxury watches that you're going to flip and make you $6,000, $7,000 a month in profit? How about do that? So that's what I started doing. I said, okay, let me use these credit cards. Now, what are the ways I need to use them? Two ways I used them. One was direct deposit transfer. Some of you know that concept, some of you don't. But there's a concept called direct deposit transfer where I can take my credit card limits. Let's give you an example, concrete example. So I got a Bank of America credit card with a $50,000 credit card limit. One Bank of America credit card has a $50,000 credit card limit. Now, one thing I know about that credit card is, and one thing I know about Bank of America is they like to make money. They're in business to make money. So a guy like me who has good credit, verifiable income, they come to me and say, hey, Richard, we see you got this $50,000 credit card with us. Hey, why not allow us to put that money in your checking account and you can use it for whatever purpose you want to use it for. As long as you pay it back in 18 months, we won't put any interest on you. Now, why would the credit card company do that? Well, again, guys, the credit card company is in business to make money. They're not in business to just give you credit limits and you sit out there and just, look at your statement every month and feel good about yourself because you got a $50,000 credit. No. They want you to use it. That's how they make money. So they come to me and say, hey, got this $50,000 limit. We want you to use it. Okay, Bank of America, if you want me to use it, make it attractive. Okay, Richard, we'll make it attractive. Here's the deal. We'll give you that $50,000 credit limit to do whatever you want to do with it. No interest rate attached to it. Here's the caveat. We'll charge you a transaction fee for allowing you to take the $50,000 and put it in your checking account. We'll charge you a transaction fee, not interest, but one-time transaction fee. And then you take the rest of that credit card limit, we put it in your account, you got 18 months to use it. We will force no interest on you in that 18 months. But you gotta pay it all back before the 18 months or we're gonna force interest on you. I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. How does it work? Okay, here's how it works. You got a $50,000 credit card limit. We're gonna charge you 4% transaction fee. That's $2,000. Oh my goodness, you said $2,000? Yes, we're gonna charge you $2,000, but it's gonna come out of the credit card limit. So instead of taking $50,000 and putting it in your checking account, we're gonna take 48 and put it in your checking account. We're gonna take 2, but you still owe us 50. In 18 months, you owe us 50. I said, okay, cool. So they put the 48,000 into my checking account. I move it to the savings account. Then I take the 48,000 and I do what with it? I go out and buy luxury watches online. I go buy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 luxury watches at a discount. I get those luxury watches at home. I paid for them with the credit card company's money, OPM, no money out of my pocket at all. None. Well, you paid the $2,000. No, I didn't. I didn't pay them nothing. They took it out of the credit card limit. I didn't take not one dime out of my pocket and give to Bank of America. Not one dime. They took it out of the credit card limit. They paid themselves. I didn't pay them nothing. I paid them $0. So now I got the 48,000. I take the 48,000. I paid no money to nobody. I take the 48,000 and I go out and buy luxury watches online. I get these luxury watches home. They get shipped to me. I get them at home. Well, Richard, where did you buy them from? eBay. Every one of them. Oh, you can't do that. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I did it. I did it for 15 years. I bought over $1 million worth of watches on eBay over 15 years. Over $1 million worth of luxury watches just on eBay. Yeah, you can. See, all this talk about, no, you can't. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I'm no smarter than you. I just knew, hey, there's a market out there for luxury items. I don't care if it's good times, bad times, in between times. There are people out there that got money that buy luxury items. Just because you don't got no money to buy luxury items, the 1% does, and they buy. So I knew that. I said, okay, let me go out on eBay. Let me source these watches. Like I said, Rolex, Omega, Breitling, IWC, Panerai. Those were my 5. Specifically, Rolex and Omega. Those are the 2 that I hung my hat on. So I go out to eBay. Every day I get home from work, after work, spend a couple hours with the family. Boom, 7, 8 o'clock, I'm online buying watches every single night, right? Where did I get the money? I got it from the credit card company. So I get these watches home. I take photos of them on the weekends, and then I put them up for sale. Well, where did you sell them at? I sold them in the watch forums. If you go out to the $10 trillion research lab and type in watch forums, wristwatch forums, luxury watch forums, 50 of them will pop up. There are communities of people who love wristwatches. They wear them, they talk about them, they buy and sell them. There are community. There's a whole community out there of people that do that. Oh, no, it's not. Yes, it is. And those were the people I sold my watches for, to. So what I would do is my wholesale shop was eBay. Oh, well, eBay's not wholesale, it's retail. No, you turn it into wholesale. You just got to be able to negotiate. I don't care what somebody's asking for their watch, what they want to sell it for on eBay. It's what somebody's willing to pay them for it. I don't care if you're asking $5,000 for it. I'm willing to pay you $3,500. Do you want it or not? Guess what? I do that enough times on eBay. There is somebody that's going to raise their hand and say, you know something, I had this watch for sale on eBay for 3 weeks. I really need the money. Yes, I can't do 35, Richard, but I'll take 38. Now I got $1,200 worth of profit margin to take it back to the watch forum and sell it on the watch forum. So the watch forum was my retail selling spot. eBay was my wholesale buying spot. And I did it all online. No brick and mortar, all online in the beginning. That's it. So what I would do is I'd get the watches home. I pay for them with the credit card. I'd get the watches home. I'd sell through them. Now, I knew I had 18 months on this money over here from Bank of America. So what was my goal? My goal was to take the $48,000 and turn it into $96,000 before Bank of America wanted their money back. That was the goal. In 18 months, I want to create $96,000 out of the $48,000. Right? So let's say fast forward a year, I got the 96K. Now all I got to do is take the 48 that I owe Bank of America out of the 96, pay Bank of America back, and I make 48 without putting any of my money in the deal. No interest pushed on me. That's how you create money to put in your savings account. And then therefore, I would take the 48 and guess what I would do with it? The 48 that I made out of thin air, no money out of my pocket. I would take that 48 and do what with it? Put it in something that will multiply it without me doing anything. See, with the watch flipping business, I had to do something. I didn't want to just keep flipping watches for the rest of my life. So I would take the profit from the watch flipping, which was active, I would put it into something that was passive, AKA real estate and the stock market. I did that for 15 years. That's how I accelerated my net worth, through side hustles. Luxury watch flipping. That's what I chose because I like watches. I tell you guys all the time, turn the things that you enjoy doing that don't make no money for you, turn it into money makers. That's what I did with watches. I also enjoy just buying crap online and reselling it online. So I use the eBay stores for that too. I created a luxury watch sales eBay store, and then everything else that I sold on eBay, I created a store. Those were the only two side hustles I had. I didn't look at my real estate investing as a side hustle. I looked at that as a way to build equity in real estate. So at some point in the future, I could sell those properties, take the equity, and invest that equity into something else like paper assets. And that's what I did. So in my mid-30s, I started flipping watches online. And I did it for 15 years, guys. And I sold a lot of them. Like I said, I bought over $1 million worth of watches just on eBay. Just on eBay. And guess what? Never paid any of my money for them. All credit card money. What was the second way I used credit cards? Second way I used credit cards, if I couldn't get the direct deposit transfer. Let's say I'm already on the Bank of America card, got the 48, but I got another ABC card out here with a $30,000, $40,000 limit, but they don't offer direct deposit transfer. How did I use their card? Okay, here's the deal. 3 things you need to know about a credit card statement, right? 3 things you need to get from a credit card statement to know how to maximize using a credit card, OPM, to build wealth. Number 1 thing you got to figure out is, what is the due date? Second thing, the start date. And then guess what? The end date. You know those three things on your credit card statement and you get them right off the credit card statement. Now you know how to maximize the float time when you use a credit card. So here's what I did. Let's say ABC card had a due date of the 1st of every month. That was the due date. Let's say the start date of the credit card cycle for that month, the start date, let's say the start date was the 5th. The end date was the 4th. Let me give you an example. Let's say April 5th was my start date. So what I would do is, since I knew my start date and I knew my end date, I said, okay, if I'm gonna use this credit card in order to buy my luxury watches and get the maximum float time before I gotta pay these people money, I need to be on this card on the 5th. On the 5th of the month, I need to be on this card because that's the start date. Hear me out. So I get on the card on the 5th. And when I say get on the card, I mean I start using the card to buy watches on eBay. So I get on the card on the 5th. Now from the 5th of April, 5th of April to the 4th of May. So 5th of April to the 4th of May is my statement cycle. What is that? That's 30 days, right? So I just got on the card on the 5th. I'm on the card. I bought my watches on the 5th. So I got from the 5th of April to the 4th of May, which is 30 days, no interest. Guess what? My due date is what? June 1st. My start date on my credit card for the new statement cycle is April 5th. My end date for that statement cycle is May 4th. My due date is June 1st. How many days have I just got before I had to repay the credit card usage for buying the watches on April 4th? How many days before it's due? Anybody in the chat can tell me how many days before I got to pay for those purchases on April 4th? How many days? Somebody said about 60 days. Yeah, you're absolutely right. 55 to 60 days. So I take my float and I take my grace period. Two things. I take advantage of the float. The float is from April 5th to May 4th. That's the float. 30 days worth of float. Then the credit card company gives me a grace period from what? The grace period is from what? May 5th to June 1st. That's the grace period. So I got almost 60 days, 55 to 60 days before I got to pay for those watches I bought on April 4th. And guess what I would do? I'd take those watches I bought on, April 5th. I take those watches I bought on April 5th, and guess what? By April 10th, they're up, ready for sale on the watch forums. I sell through them, take the money. By June 1, I pay the credit card and I rinse and repeat the cycle again. Those are the two ways I used my credit cards for 15 years to support me buying $1 million worth of watches on eBay using credit cards. That's it. And then I took the money, the profit, and at the height, I was making about $100,000 a year flipping watches online. I would take that money and do what with it? I'd multiply it through passive investments like real estate for income in the stock market. And I just did that for 15 years. And I was working a full-time job. All I'm telling you guys is this notion of, oh God, I don't have a lot of money, I can't do that. No, there are financial tools out there that if you know how to use them, guess what? You got all the money you need. If you got decent credit, you got verifiable income, and you have a strategy to be able to make money, like my luxury watch sales strategy, A lot of people say today, no, you can't do that today. It's too saturated. You can't flip watches today like that. That's crap. Yeah, you can. You go into some of these watch forums. If you can't flip watches today, go on some of these watch forums and go into their sales corners where these guys and gals are out there selling watches like crazy. I keep telling y'all guys, there are people out there who are recession proof. I don't know why we believe everybody down here in this bust economy like most of us. No. There is people out there that are recession proof. They don't care what the economy is. They make money and they spend money. I just was online before I got on this live stream. I was online and I was looking at some cars because I'm a car guy. I'm looking at cars and I'm saying to myself, my goodness, they're just getting ready to come out with the 2024, maybe 2025 Range Rover Sport SVR. Like the one I got now, but I got a 2021. That thing cost $138,000 in 2021. I just went on the website to Range Rover of Naples. They got two of them. They're selling them for $193,000 and one is $202,000. Guys, I don't care what you hear. These cars are not getting any cheaper. You're talking about a Range Rover SVR goes from 138, what I paid in 21, over 200 grand for the new version of it. And it's the same thing. Now, there's some differences. The one I have has a supercharged V8. These ones that they're coming out with, and mine does like 575 horsepower. The ones that they're coming out with now, the brand new ones, they're going to have a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, the BMW V8, doing about 626 horsepower. They want damn near 200 grand for this truck. I'm just telling you, the only reason I tell you that is because people out here got the money. And when I talked to my dealer here where I live, he said he had 6 coming in this summer, 6 of them. And guess what? All of them sold. Oh, nobody got money. Nobody ain't doing it. Guys, people are spending money. My point is, there always are people out there that are recession proof and will buy things online. They'll buy them brick and mortar. They will buy them. Your job to build wealth is to find that niche. Find your niche of recession-proof spenders. They're out there. We cannot judge everybody's net worth the way we judge ours. I don't make that mistake. I know there are people out there who are going to buy regardless because they're recession-proof. How do they become recession-proof, Richard? Because they got assets. They got assets that generate income no matter what. Stock market is going to generate income, guys, no matter what. Real estate is going to generate income no matter what. Businesses are going to generate income no matter what. I don't care what economy we're in. Those 3 things will always generate income. That's why I tell you, that's where your money should be at, not in your savings account. I don't mind money in a savings account if it's working capital and I'm turning that money like I did with the luxury watch sales. I kept money in that savings account because I knew I was always turning money. And sometimes I would need to dip into that to pay for something until I can sell through, and then I'd put the money back in the savings. That's the only reason I had money in the savings for 15 years, is to facilitate my side hustles. It wasn't there just to have it there to say, oh, hey, Jim, I got $50,000 in my savings. How much you got in yours? I didn't care about that. What I cared about was, how do I make more money flipping watches and then take that money and turn it into passive investments that I got to do nothing and it multiplies itself anyways. We got a couple super chats, so let's get to those. And let's see here. I know we got a couple in here. I just got to find them. And then we'll get back to this discussion. Where are my super chats? I know they're in here. I saw them. All right. Let me find them super chats. I got them in here somewhere. Let's see. Where are the super chats? Here we go. So we got one coming from Maurice Banks. Hey, Maurice, appreciate you, man. Appreciate the super chat. How did you find out about the watch flipping side hustle? All right. here's the deal with the watch flipping side hustle. Because listen, guys, early on when I was doing this YouTube thing, them first couple of years, 2020, 2021, most of my, a lot of my one-on-one sessions were teaching people how to do this luxury watch sales thing. That's what a lot of my one-on-one calls were. Just teaching. Also, a lot of my one-on-one calls were teaching people about credit card arbitrage. We're going to do that in the mentorship group. But I'm going to have the whiteboard and we're going to be interactive. So I'll be teaching luxury watch flipping, credit card arbitrage, real estate arbitrage. I'll be teaching all of that stuff in the mentorship group, right? I'm not going to be going in depth on the YouTube channel. I went in depth in 2020 and 2021. So if you want to go look at some of those videos from back in those years, I did go deeper because I was just starting out on the YouTube channel. Now I'm not going to be able to do that on the YouTube channel. So go back and look at those old videos. I got a playlist of a real estate playlist. I got a luxury watch sales playlist. Go look at those playlists and you can get some of those older videos where I talked about it, which will give you a lot of the meat and potatoes. But I'm going to answer Maurice's question here because he did it through Super Chat and I owe him an explanation. So how did you find out about the watch flipping side hustle? Here's the thing. I like watches. See, it was a hobby of mine. I just didn't have any expensive watches. I had little G-Shocks and little Casios and little things like that that I would wear to work. And I really liked watches. And I used to watch this show called QVC back in the day. I would be up at night, everybody sleep. I couldn't sleep. I'd turn on QVC and they used to have a dude on there named Jim Skelton. He used to be like a watch guru guy and they would sell watches on QVC. They would sell these watches, these Invicta watches, but they looked like Rolex. But they wasn't Rolex, but boy, you had to really look at them hard to tell they wasn't. And I was like, man, I can't afford no Rolex, but boy, I get that Invicta. I'm gonna get me an Invicta watch. So I started ordering these Invicta watches from this QVC channel. And y'all know anything about QVC, they give you 3, 4, 5 payments, right? Interest-free payments. So I was like, shoot, it's a $150 watch. I ain't got to pay for it all at once. I can pay for it over the next 4 months. No interest. Send me one of those. So I would get those Invicta watches at home and then I would start playing around with them, you know, sizing the bracelet. So I started buying all the sizing equipment and I just got infatuated with these watches. And then I said to myself one day, dude, I know it's a hobby and you enjoy it, but man, you got to turn this into a hustle. And I'm like, I don't know how to turn it into a hustle though. So I said, let me go to Google. I went to Google and typed in luxury watch sales or luxury watch flipping or something like that. Boom, it came up with the watch forums. So I went to the watch forums and I joined a couple of them. And once I joined those watch forums, that community of enthusiasts, that's where it started for me. I messed around and went to the sales corner and I saw where these guys were selling Rolex, Breitling, everything. And I was like, goodness gracious, how are these guys? I mean, these guys are selling these luxury watches. I gotta be able to learn how to do that. And I did. I just started watching them. I went to their posts to see exactly what they were saying in their posts. I said, okay, this is what they're describing the watch. This is what they're buying. This is how much they're trying to sell it for. So if I know if they're selling it for $5,500, they gotta have bought it somewhere less than $5,500. But where did they buy it from? Where can I find watches under retail? And then I said, I thought about it. I said, well, golly, man, back then, you know, eBay was the only thing, right? Really, you had Amazon, but eBay was sort of the only thing. So I was like, let me go over to eBay. So I went over to eBay. What I would do is I would go to the watch forum and I would see what the guys on the watch forum were selling. I was seeing what the most popular things. I would just go through the thread. I just go through the thread and it's like, oh, okay, Rolex Submariner, Breitling Avenger, okay, Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean. Okay, these are the 3 popular ones right here that everybody's trying to sell on the watch forum. This is what they're selling them for. Let me go to eBay and see if I can find them cheaper. And then all I got to do is buy them from eBay cheaper, bring them back to the watch forum, put them on the watch forum, and I'll sell them for, you know, $50, $75 lower than what these guys selling them for. That's what I did in the early days. I would just go to the watch forum, look at the thread, the for sale thread, see what these power sellers on the watch forum were selling, what was the most popular items, what they were charging for them. I'd take that intel, I'd go back to eBay, I would cut and paste. I would copy and paste the exact name of the watch. I would copy and paste it from the watch forum, paste it into the search bar on eBay, click search, 100 of them would come up. So then I said to myself, okay, these people over here on the watch forums are selling them for this. These people on eBay are selling theirs for this. But here's the thing about eBay that I loved. You can negotiate through buy it now, best offer. So if a guy has the same watch for $5,500, this guy has it for $5,500. Both of them are selling for $5,500 on the forum and on eBay. The thing on eBay is these people over here, the majority of them, now you got power sellers on eBay as well, but a lot of the folks that sell on eBay are not power sellers. They're just regular people like you and me. And I said to myself, if they got this watch for sale on eBay and they're just a regular schmegular like I am, they'll take less. I ain't gonna give them $5,500. I'm gonna offer $4,500. Let me see if they'll take the $4,500. The key though was I couldn't do that just to one guy on eBay. I had to do it to 50 guys in order to get 3 or 4 sales. So that's what I would do every night is I would make 50 offers a night to all sorts of people all around the world. I would just make 50 offers knowing everybody wasn't gonna accept the offer, but I didn't care about everybody accepting. I just cared about 1 or 2 guys who were ready to deal. I did 50 asks to get 2 or 3 guys that wanted to deal and sell their watch. That's how I made eBay my wholesale website. I would take the retail price and I would just offer based on what these guys were selling for on the watch forums. So if they're selling for $5,500 on the watch forums, I'm offering $45 on eBay. Any takers? Guy might come back and say, hey, Richard, I can't take 45, but man, if you can do 48, you got a deal. Guess what I just did? I got $700 worth of profit that I take back over to the watch forums. This guy's selling for 55, I put mine at 53. Now I just made $500, just like that. He's selling for 54, power seller. He's selling for 55, I sell for 53. And all you got to do on the watch forum is you get 2 or 3 sales where people will give you good feedback, you're Gucci. And that's what I did. I started selling on the watch forums, got good feedback from people saying, yeah, Richard Fain, good deal, great deal, good quick shipping, free shipping. And all of a sudden now I got feedback that I'm a good seller. I was off to the races after that. So I hope that answers your question, Maurice. I just found I just loved watches from the onset. And then I just took it one step further and said, hey, how do I make money off this thing? And then I used the internet, Google, to assist me. Nobody else. There were no watch trading academy, all this other crap you see on YouTube. Watch trading, well, none of that crap. All I did was went to Google and said, Google, tell me where I can find luxury watches for sale. Tell me where I can find watch forum. That's all I did. And it took me, it brought all the information to me, and all I had to do then is execute. See, a lot of us will have the information. We don't want to execute though. We want somebody else to execute for us. Oh, no. I know it's there, but I don't understand it. I don't want to do it. No, execute. Oh, no. I've read all the books. I've seen the watch forums. I'm just scared to buy a watch. Well, then you ain't gonna make no money. If you're scared to buy a watch, you ain't gonna make no money. This is business. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. That's business. Right? That's business. I think I had another super chat in here. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did. I thought I had 2. Maybe I do got another one. Here it is. Well, I had a super chat from Kai. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. Any other super chats before I get going? I think I got all of them answered. I think I do. And then we're gonna keep this conversation going. Yeah, I think I got all the super chats. So let's keep this conversation going as it relates to 0 to 10,000. So that's how I got going, guys, with my side hustles. I had the luxury watch sales side hustle, and I had the eBay stores. eBay stores were pretty simple, right? It was pretty simple. Anywhere I go to buy something, I'm always looking for items that are discounted, that I can just turn around and put on the eBay store. Let me give you a prime example. So I love cars, and I love buying little things to enhance my cars. So for instance, I bought the BMW, and the exhaust tips for the BMW were like stainless steel color. And I wanted them to be blacked out. So what did? I go get some blacked out ones. I take the other ones and I just sell them. Or I go, and back in the day when I was really heavily into flipping watches, I knew all the accessories associated with the watches. People wanted to buy those too. So what I would do is I'd go on eBay, and let's say a Rolex box. I would go buy empty Rolex boxes, no watch, just the box. I would buy 10, 20, 30 of those boxes on eBay, knowing that I could sell them for $100, $150, $200 a piece. So what I would do is I would go somewhere like somebody that was selling like 40 of them in bulk, where I could get a really good deal, and I'd buy them on eBay. They'd ship them to me. So now I got 40 of these, and I'd sell them individually on the other eBay store, not the watch store, but the other eBay store. I'd sell them individually for 150, 200, 250. Because here's the thing, with Rolex watches, the more complete the watch set is, the more it's worth. So if a guy buys a Submariner and he buys it without box and papers, he just bought the Submariner. Now he wants to go find him the correct box to go with that Submariner. So when he gets ready to resell it, it's more of a complete package. You sell for more when you got the box and the papers than if you don't have the box and papers. And when I say box and papers, I'm just talking about the warranty card. No matter if the warranty card is expired or not, it doesn't matter. People want the complete set, especially the box. So I said, okay, let me buy these boxes. So when I do buy watches or Rolex that don't have a box, because I bought a lot of them too, I just match them up with the right box and sell them as a package, and I could sell them for more. Or I could just sell the boxes by themselves and make 100% markup on the money that I spent. Maybe I paid $50 a box. I'd sell them for $150 all day long. So that's how as I really got into flipping watches, I learned about all the accessories that go with these watches. And I just, especially with Rolex, man, people are fanatics about Rolex. Anything Rolex people want. I'm talking about down to the booklets. I would sell booklets, like a Rolex Submariner booklet, the little thin booklet, buy it, sell for $50. I'd buy it for 10 on eBay and sell it for 50. Those are the types of things that I did to create money in the luxury watch sales game, right? And it's still true today. You can still do it today. It's no different. It's no different. The buyers are still there. Yes, do you got to pay a little bit more for the watch? Sure. But the buyers pay a little bit more for the watch as well. There are still deals out there to be had. Why don't I really do it anymore? Because I don't have to. I don't have to. I got 5 other ways to make money, so I don't have to. Now, at a point in my life, I like to have the least amount of time that I need to dedicate my time to something, but maximize the income from it. That's where I'm at in my life. So I spend a small amount of time, but I maximize my income from that small amount of time that I spend on something. That's why you control 100%. That's why it's so important to get to wealth, so you can control 100% of your own time. If you can control 100% of your own time and still make a bunch of money doing it, that's the best of both worlds, guys. So the $0 to $10,000 is the first step, though. Side hustles. Go from 0 to 10 with the side hustles. And then you take the side hustle money and do what with it? You invest it into things that don't require you to put any time into them. That's why I love paper assets. Paper assets don't require no time from me, nothing, other than a push of a button. That's it. I just need to push a button every day or push a button once a month, and I make money. And I just do that over a long period of time. Now, real estate's a little bit more hands-on, especially in the beginning when you're trying to buy the property, because you got to put a little bit of work into that. But once you buy the property, It's in a great location. You put a tenant in it, you should be okay. Yeah, maybe you have to get involved once every now and then if there's a problem at the property, but it shouldn't be every day. Unless you're in an undesirable location, it might be every day. But if you're in a desirable location where people have a desire to live where you would live, you're not gonna have to go there every day. The only time you're gonna have a problem with property is if you're in an undesirable location that you won't live in and you wanna buy a piece of real estate there, then that's where you're gonna have problems. You typically don't have problems in locations where you'll live, where people have an understanding, they're trying to strive better financially. You normally don't, at least I didn't. In my experience of 25 years of buying real estate, I didn't have any problems. I didn't have problems like that. So that's the concept, guys. Okay, got another super chat from native_none_ the less. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate that. And then, another thing on the credit cards, guys. Again, this is not a situation where I'm trying to tell you to go out and use credit cards not responsibly. I'm just telling you, you can take all of your financial tools, utilize them to build wealth. That's all I'm telling you. Utilize all your financial tools to build wealth. All of them. Don't leave nothing on the table. Use all of them to build wealth, but use them responsibly. And credit card arbitrage, if you use it responsibly, you can make a lot of money. That's just the truth. You can make a lot of money if you use it responsibly, but you got to do that. And I did, right? And I did. So I got all these credit card limits that I just would turn into cash, that I would just use as basically be my lender. Instead of me going and get a traditional loan, I just use the credit card as a loan, but with no interest. And then if I got to a point where I got stuck one month, and let's say I had $20,000 still owed, and I'm stuck, I haven't sold through all my product, then I just go to my savings account. Remember, I told you I kept the temporary savings. I would go to the savings account, pay off the credit card balance, and then when I sold through the rest of the inventory, I would just put the money back in the savings account. But the savings account was like an operating account. It wasn't like, oh, I'm saving this and I'm gonna put this money in this money market account and it's gonna get me 1.5% interest and I'm just gonna do that for the next 1,000 years and then I'm gonna have enough money to retire, because that's how long you'll have to do it. It doesn't make any sense. So the 0 to 10 is just the storage unit. Once I got the storage unit full, then I need to take some of that out of the storage unit and make it work for me. 10,000 in the storage unit, boom, move it over. 10,000 in the storage unit, boom, move it into real estate. Right? 10,000 in the storage unit, boom, move it into a business. 10,000 in the storage unit, boom, move it into paper assets. Why? Because I wanted to start working for me without me doing anything. I wanted to start multiplying and growing and compounding. And then I keep on the side hustles. I just keep the side hustles. Every 10K, boom, put it somewhere. Keep the side hustles going. Right? So that's the concept of get the first $10,000 and then what you need to do with the 10,000. How do you get it? Side hustles. What do you do with it when you do get it? Investments that multiplied at least at an 8% rate of return annually. And you just do that. Rinse and repeat, right? So anytime I get a raise on the job, guess what happens? I keep my lifestyle the same. I don't increase my lifestyle when I increase my salary. I increase my salary, but I keep the lifestyle the same. I increase my salary, I keep the lifestyle the same. I don't increase my salary and go buy a bigger house with a bigger payment. So now, net, I didn't made nothing. I get a 4% raise, but I increase my lifestyle by 4%. I haven't made anything. I'm still at 0. I increase my pay by 4%. I keep my lifestyle exactly where it is. Now I got an extra 4% I can invest in something that's going to give me 8% or better. That's the concept. That's the mindset. That's how we want to be thinking. We want to be thinking about how do I take all of my time and leverage my time and turn it into cash. I never want to be in a situation where I'm taking an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours out of my time and being unproductive, unless I'm asleep. That's it. The only time I want to be unproductive is when I'm sleeping. If I'm awake, I need to be productive, right? I need to be productive. I need to be productive when I'm awake until I get to a point where I have enough wealth where I can take more time to do the things that I want to do. See, I got to give up something in the beginning if I want everything I want in the end. We have a hard time with that in this country because, see, we want it flip-flopped. We want everything now. We don't really think about later. We don't think about the end. We want it now. But in most cases, you don't get it now. You go look at most self-made millionaires. You go talk to those people. They're going to all tell you the same thing, guys. We gave up something. I gave up something. Unfortunately, some of us will have given up time with our family. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of running so hard that I missed some things that I probably shouldn't have missed. But I had a choice. And again, money is not going to make me happy, but I knew I had to secure their future and my future. So I had to give up something. And I would say right now to this day, my daughters don't hold that against me. I'm working with two of my oldest daughters right now on my website, and we're partners. They understand the sacrifice I needed to make. Now, I'm not perfect. There are some things I chose to do I shouldn't have done. I'm just human. But when I look back on it and when my kids look back on it, I have a great relationship with my kids. I do regret missing some of the earlier years because I think those were years where we could have bonded better. Now, we got a super great bond right now, but I just, for me as a father, there were some things I should have did that I didn't do. But one thing I did do, and that was take care of them. And that's one thing that I'm going to continue to do. So when I leave this place, I'm going to leave them not only their memories of their father, but I'm going to leave them a financial legacy. I'm not going to leave them generational poverty. I'm going to leave them generational wealth. And they're helping me on this last leg do that. So guess what? They're also learning. They're learning. I'm teaching them. They don't care about what I say. What they really are watching is what I do. All I'm telling you guys is don't get caught up in this thing. Oh, golly, you just want to build wealth. What about your kids? What about this? What about that? Hey, we all got choices to make. And if wealth doesn't mean anything to you, then don't build it. Keep doing what you're doing. That's okay too. For me, it was important for me to be in a position at this point in my life to be able to take care of myself and live the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And I had to pay the price. We all got to pay the price. What price we pay is up to you. But I can tell you this, you do not want to get to my age and not have any options in your life. That's all I'm saying. You do not want to get to my age and look back and say, you know something, I squandered a lot of opportunity. I squandered a lot of opportunity. I wasted a lot of time. And now I'm 50, 60, 70, and my financial situation is not looking real good. You don't want to do that, guys. We got a super chat coming in from Kappa Owens. Appreciate the super chat. Can't think of a question right now because you supply such daily knowledge, mate. Laughing out loud. Thanks for the last Q&A on YouTube. See you on the membership side. Appreciate you, man. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, some people understand value and they're okay with investing in themselves because of they know the value they're going to get. But hey, everybody ain't to that stage, right? See, a lot of people care about the pennies. They pick up the pennies, but they step over the dollars. That's a lot of us. We look at the pennies. We can see the pennies, but we step right over the dollars. You make your decision on what you want to do. But like I said, either way, hey, the YouTube channel will be here every day. Of course, you know we won't be having this type of in-depth conversation. When the last time I really went deep dive on credit cards or flipping watches on any video? Most times I don't, because I just don't have to do that anymore that much. But that's what we're going to be doing over in the mentorship group. And the good news is these people will be able to ask me questions, and I'll be able to tell them exactly where to go. And once I get real good at this, I won't be this good at it in the beginning, but once I get real good at it, and I can get my technical skills together, and I'm working on that. I'm working on getting my technical skills together. I'm going to take them to eBay. I'm going to take them to the watch forums, and I'm going to show them exactly where to go. That's the difference we'll be going through in the membership club to what I do now. I don't take you guys anywhere. I just talk about it. But once I get my technical stuff together, I'm going to be able to minimize my screen, maximize another screen, and take them exactly where I'm telling them to go. So it's not going to just be telling them. They're going to see something visual. We're going to get there. Mentorship club, just be patient. We're going to get there. I promise you. That's a promise I make to you. I'm going to make an investment in the equipment, the software, everything that I need to get this thing to a whole nother level. I'm going to do that. That's not going to be on YouTube, though. That's going to be in the mentorship club. So thank you, Kappa. I appreciate you, man. And I'll see you over in the mentorship club. You know, we got our first live stream kicking off tomorrow. It's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let's keep going here. I think I got another super chat. Let's see here. Here we go. The Wallamala. Appreciate you. If you lost all your assets, do you believe you can get it back? Also, what financial advice would you give your 3-year-old self if you had to do it over? Guys, let me tell you something. With what I know, if I lost all my assets, it wouldn't even bother me. Don't get me wrong. Oh golly, how could I do that for about 5 minutes? And then I'm executing, because I know exactly what to do. As long as I got good credit, long as I got sound mind, listen, man, I'm going to go make it happen. Guess what? These credit cards I got, that's the first thing I'm tapping. I'm going to take all $150,000 worth of limits and turn them into money. That's all I'm going to do. Take $150,000 worth of credit card limits, turn them into money, and get going. And everything's going to be online. Back to flipping watches. Right? Back to flipping watches and doing what? Creating content. That's it. I keep telling y'all, information is a asset class. It's one of the newest asset classes. Information. So I'll take information, I'll take my knowledge of the business world, and I just start over. And how am I going to fund it? With my credit card limits. That's how I'm going to fund it. That's why it's important for us to keep a good level of credit. So if we are hit with a situation where we got to act quick, we got the credit limits. Say, I don't have to go to a bank and sit down and beg for a loan. I just go to my credit limits. Why? Because credit companies are greedy. As long as I keep my credit score good, they're going to give me the limits because they're greedy. I mean, these people that make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars off of us, they're greedy. They're not going, if I got a good credit score, they don't care if I got a job. All they care about is I got a good credit score. So if I keep my credit good, listen, man, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. If I lost all my assets, do you believe you could get it back? Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'd get it back faster than I did over these last 30 years. See, it took me 30 years to get where I'm at today. And I've said this before, 5 years. 5 years. The net worth I have today, I could create that net worth in 5 years if I had to start from zero. Long as I got the credit card balances. I mean, say the limits. I got to have the credit card limits, though. I may not have no cash, but I can have the credit card limits. I can flip it. Because number one, I take those credit card limits, I'd start luxury watch sales, but guess what else I do? I take a portion of the credit card limit and I'll start flipping stocks. Not just watches, but stocks. Company like NVIDIA. Come on, man. I take 75 grand and put it in NVIDIA and boom, make me 25 grand a week, because that's kind of way it swings in stock price. But you got to know that. I take that 75, let's say I got $150,000 in limits. I'd take 75 of those limits and I'd flip stocks. I'd take the other 75 and I'd flip watches. Those would be the two side hustles. And then guess what I would take? I'd take my knowledge and I'd keep on giving information out to the world, to the 4.5 billion people out in the world, every day hammering information. Why? Information is an asset class. Information is going to be the fastest way to make millions and millions and millions of dollars in this world. It's coming. Just information. If you know how to give information effectively, you can make millions and millions and millions of dollars. I don't care what industry you're in. If you have information that people are looking for and you know how to get it out to them in a way that they can understand it, it's powerful. It's a money maker. Those are the three things that I would do. Flip stocks, information, flip watches. That's what I would do, the Walla Mala. And what would I tell my 3-year-old self? Let's put it this way. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? I'm just starting out, brand new, just starting out. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? Don't spend no money unless it makes you money. That's what I would tell my 18-year-old self. Work 20 hours a day, sleep 4. And I'm not talking about physical labor. And if that's what you want to do, do it. I'm talking about mental labor. Figuring out ways how to get information out. Figure out ways how to flip watches. Figure out ways how to flip stocks. Those are the three things. Now, obviously, information is a business. So business, flipping stocks, paper assets, and then guess what? Flipping luxury watches. Those are the three things I do. I tell my 18-year-old self, don't buy nothing that don't put money in your pocket. That would be the simple advice I would tell myself. If it don't put money in your pocket, don't buy it. Everything you buy should put money in your pocket. I'm talking about big ticket items. I'm not talking about groceries. I'm talking about big, but even with food, no restaurants. Everything's from the grocery store. No luxury cars. Everything buy here, pay here. Just get me to A to B. No trips. None. And I just do that for 5 years like a madman. And I'd be a millionaire. I believe that. I'd do that for 5 years and I'd be a millionaire. I believe that. I believe that. So hopefully that answers your question. I got another super chat here, so let's keep rolling. Yeah, I got another super chat here. Here it is. Christopher Hendricks. Christopher, appreciate you for rocking with me, man. Thank you. In the membership, would you elaborate more about using credit cards to buy stocks? Absolutely. I keep telling y'all guys, this is a whole nother level. I'm going back to 2020, 2021. That's what we're going. Y'all go back to 2020 and 2021 and look at me on them videos when I got the whiteboard out. Go take a look at those credit card arbitrage videos where I got the whiteboard out. I'm trying to tell y'all guys, we're going to be doing some. See, the thing is the reason I can do that is because we're not going to have a lot of people there. I mean, yeah, I might have 500 members at some point, but I know ain't going to be but 50, 75 people in the chats every week. So when you got 50 or 75 people in the chat and you got me for 90 minutes, that's your fault if you don't get what you need. That ain't my fault. I'm there to answer all the questions. I'm there to answer all the questions. So if you don't get what you need to get out of it, that's your fault. It ain't no, well, golly, Richard, you had 1,000 questions and you couldn't get to mine. No, because we ain't gonna have that. Even at 500 members over there in the membership club, guess what? All of them ain't gonna show up every week. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. So you have me for 90 minutes. I don't care if 5 of y'all in there. You got me for 90 minutes. If it's 10 of y'all in there, it's your fault if you don't get what you need out of me, not mine. That's not my fault. That's your fault. You should be prepared with questions and ready to rock and roll. You want to sit there and just look at me? That's your fault. But that's the level of time you're going to have with me. Unlike over here on the YouTube channel, anything can happen. I can get distracted with all these questions, but I've limited myself not to get distracted because I'm only going to answer super chat questions. See, I've learned. In the old live streams, I'm just going through here trying to find questions to answer, and people don't learn nothing. So for now, I just do what I'm gonna do, and when a super chat come through, that's when I pay attention. Other than the rest of them, I don't pay attention. I can't. But guess what? If you're over in the mentorship group, you got 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people in there at one time. Your questions are all gonna get answered in depth. We're gonna be there for 90 minutes. Just us, private. We're not going to have hecklers, trolls, people trying to rip you off. We're not going to have any of that because they're private. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But to answer your question, absolutely. I will walk you through exactly what I do with credit card arbitrage to flip stocks. Again, I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm just telling you for the folks on here who understand the concept and they're looking to maximize their financial tools, and they already have discipline, they already have consistency, they already have patience. They're just trying to figure out a way to maximize every financial tool they have. It's a perfect conversation for those types of people. They're gonna get it, understand it, and then they're gonna go ahead and execute. Nothing's guaranteed in this life, guys. Long as you understand that and you're not afraid of that, go get you some money. You know how much money people are making out here in this world right now? I had a member, a young lady send me an email, said she paid a guy $5,500 for a wholesale real estate course. And she said she didn't learn nothing. I keep telling y'all guys, I'm trying to tell you, I don't know what world y'all living in. But the world I live in, people are getting rich out here. Now, some of them are doing it underhanded and taking advantage of people, but there are way many more people doing it the right way. They're just getting paid. They ain't making no excuses. They're using every financial tool they're executing. The problem with a lot of us is we don't want to execute. For whatever reason, I don't know what limiting beliefs we have in our life that we allow to just take everything out of us. I don't know, but people won't execute. I sat here for two weeks ago, I sat here on the live stream for at least 20 minutes talking about NVIDIA and what I believe NVIDIA was going to do. Only probably a handful of y'all listened. Everybody else figured out an excuse why not to buy NVIDIA. And guess what NVIDIA did in 1 week? Went up by $100 a share. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell people. I'm telling you, boop, 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 boop. Now, some of y'all just was on the chat earlier, heard me about the credit card arbitrage when I talked about how I bought the luxury watches with credit cards. Some of y'all gonna take that concept and be like, yup, I wrote it down. I know exactly what he did. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back into the playlist and look at. Matter of fact, I'm gonna watch the video again so I can see, some of y'all gonna do that. But a lot of y'all gonna be like, well, you didn't explain everything. You didn't tell me exactly where to go. You didn't tell me how much to pay. You didn't tell me exactly how to take the pictures. You didn't tell me exactly how to ship it. You didn't tell me do you insure it. See, a lot of y'all gonna get caught up in that, ain't gonna do nothing. Then there's gonna be a handful of y'all ain't gonna need to do all of that. Y'all just gonna go out and find that information, that little bit of information, and go about your business and make you some money. That's the difference. Some of us want to just and don't do nothing. Guys, if you don't get out of that, you'll never build wealth. Just telling you. It's going to be a tough road for you. It's going to be a tough road for you. You got to get out of this hold my hand and skip me down the yellow brick road mentality. Oh, you didn't tell me how to take pictures. You didn't tell me what camera I need. You didn't tell me what the watch form, name of the watch form is. How about just go out to Google and put in watch forms? Google gonna tell you what they are. And then you just go into each one of them until you find the one you like. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. You don't need a step-by-step. Nice super chat here from Chu. I think that's how you pronounce your name. Chuy. Chu. I'm probably messing that up. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for what you do every day. I want to know throughout your life what is the biggest accomplishment and what is the biggest regret of your life you have ever hit rock bottom. You know, I listen, guys. I'm one of these guys where I don't have a bad day. I don't have a bad day. I don't have a bad day. I may have a bad moment, but I do not have a bad day. Right? I'm one of those guys. So when I was 13, this was the lowest moment in my life. I was 13 years old. I left my mom's house because I was 13 and I thought I was grown. And my mama said, no, you ain't grown. Get out. So I had to leave. I left my mom's house at 13. I went to stay with my grandmother. Then I found myself within weeks in the juvenile detention center. 13 years old. In the juvenile detention center. That was the lowest point of my life. I was 13 years old in juvenile detention center. And I said, Lord, get me out of this and I'm gonna change my life. And that's what I did. He got me out of it that Monday. I went to the juvenile detention center on a Saturday. So that Monday, that same lady who I was giving hell was at the court to get me. She didn't have to show up. She showed up. That same who I was giving hell to showed up. That was it for me. And I changed my life one day at a time since then. I'm 56 years old. So I don't have a bad day. I may have a bad moment. And my biggest regret is leaving my mom's house at 13. That was my biggest regret because I think that broke her heart. That was my biggest regret in my life. Hopefully that answered your question. But this concept, 0 to 10,000, you can do it. Side hustles, right? Side hustles. Store that money. It's a temporary storage unit. The savings account is a temporary storage unit. Store that money in that temporary storage unit as you bring it in from the side hustles. Do not spend it on things that make other people wealthy. Store that money and then transfer it into an asset that can multiply it while you do nothing. Transfer it into an asset that multiplies it while you sleep. Rinse and repeat. Side hustles, store it, invest it, rinse and repeat. That's all you got to do, guys. Oh, I don't know anything about side hustles. Go to Google, type in top 10 side hustles that I can do with little to no money. That's all you got to do. Top 10 side hustles that I can get involved in with little to no money. Google's going to give you a million things. All you got to do is figure out the ones that you like and execute. Pretty simple, if you ask me. Well, let's see here. We got a super chat. Let's see here. We got a super chat. Hope of Light. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you. Carrie Robinson. Thank you for being real. You are a great leader. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you rocking with me. Thank you. Appreciate that. So there's the concepts, guys. We got to get to a point where we don't have a bad day. We might have a bad moment, right? That's the concept. That's the mindset we want to be in. If we're going to get to wealth, we cannot have a bad day. It's okay to have a moment, but I can't live there. I can't live in that bad moment for 24 hours. I can't do it. Right? 5 or 10 minutes, I got to shake it off. I got to keep moving. I cannot look for the negative in this world. I got to seek out the positive. Why? Because my filter system is going to seek out whatever I seek out. It's going to reinforce. So if I let negative into the filter system, what is the filter system going to seek out? Negative. If I allow positive into the filter system, what does the filter system seek out? Positive. So I cannot have a bad day. I might have a bad moment, but I will not have a bad day. And you got to repeat that to yourself every single day. Anytime bad tries to get into your filter system, anytime negative tries to get into your filter system, you should stop everything you're doing, close your eyes, and say, I will not allow negative in my life. I will not allow negative in my life. That's what you got to do, guys. You got to stop. Remember who you are. You're great. There is nobody in this world like you. Nobody. You are unique. There's nobody in this world like you. Nobody. When God made you, he broke the mold. He didn't make two of you. He made one of you. See, there's nobody else in this world like me. Out of the 8 billion people on this planet, there's only one Richard Fane. Now, there's a lot of impersonating imposters in the comments and on Instagram, but it's only one real Richard Fane. Do you know how special that is, guys? Do you know how special I must be to someone to be the only one? Do you understand how special you are to be the only one of you in the whole universe? See, you got to start thinking like that, guys. That's what you got to tell yourself every morning you wake up. Thank you, Lord. You only made one of me. There's nobody else like me in this universe. So let me go out and do something special today. Let me go out and change the world today. That's the attitude we got to have. Like I said, a temporary moment is human. But don't live there. Don't live in that temporary downtime. Don't live there for 24 hours, guys. Do not allow this world to take anything from you. But it starts up here. All right, I think we got some more super chats in here, so let me get to them. Let's see here. Eduardo, appreciate the super chat. Been losing money in options. Should I just stick to the long term or should I give it another try after failing? Great question. And I got to keep it 100 with you. You do know about 1% of people make any money in options trading, day trading, Forex trading. So my answer is simple. I wouldn't be doing any of that. I wouldn't be doing any of that. What I would be doing is traditional long-term investing. Especially when 99% of the population do not know what they're doing when they're option trading. They don't. They don't. So just be careful with that. Personally, I much rather long-term traditional invest, ETFs, individual stocks, long-term. The options trading thing, I would give it up. That's personally. Do I options trade? No. Have I ever options trade? No. And I'm a millionaire. I've never day traded, never options traded, never Forex trade, never done any of that. Only traditional investing. And I'm fine. So no, Eduardo, I would give that up. I would reset, right? I would reset the blueprint, and then I would just concentrate on long-term, big boy, blue chip paper assets. And I would just do that over and over, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, if that's what it takes. And at some point, I get to that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. How long that takes is up to you. I've always told you guys, your number one tool to build wealth is what? Income. Second, the number two tool to build wealth is what? What you do with that income. That's it. The more income I make, the more I invest, the quicker I get there. It's not that hard. The more income I make, the more income I invest, the quicker I get there. So no, I'd get out of the options trading thing. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Traditional investing only, but that's just me. That's my recommendation, but you got to do what you feel like you got to do. Jeffrey Light, how do you feel about a laundromat as an investment? Initial thoughts. Here's what I think. The only way I would take on an investment like a laundromat is if it was an investment where the equipment for the laundromat, and when I say equipment, I'm talking about the washer and the dryers, and the maintenance associated with those washer and dryers are owned by somebody else. Here's what I mean. I have the lease for the building, right? I have the lease for the building. I have a contract with a company that will supply all the dryers, all the washers. They do all the maintenance. They do everything. I pay them 20%. All I got is the building. I own the laundromat business, but I don't own the equipment. I lease it. I lease the equipment from them, but they take care of everything else. All the maintenance, changing out the equipment, all of that. I just lease it from them for about 20 to 25% of my revenue for the lease. So 75% of the revenue comes to me. It's the only way I would do it. I would not do it if I got to own the equipment. You don't want to go through that hassle. The capital requirements for that type of equipment, where people using it 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, will crush you. Only go down that road if you lease the equipment. With the agreement, you pay them a certain percentage, but they take care of all the headaches. It's the only way I would do it, Jeffrey. You do it that way, you hit a home run. I had several of my clients back in my banking days that owned these large strip centers, and they had laundromats in them, and that's the way they did it, and they killed it. So I'm just passing on information to you from my former clients. I've never owned a laundromat, but if I did own one, I'd do it the way they did it because it killed it. You take all the liability off you when it comes to the equipment. That is your biggest expense. The equipment, right? Because it's running 365. That's the way I would do it. But appreciate the super chat. All right, guys, any other questions? We're going to be getting out of here in about 10 minutes. Because that'll give us 2 hours in. So if you got any questions, send them through super chat. Y'all do know this is the last one. The last Q&A we'll be doing on YouTube. The Q&As will be going over to the mentorship group through my website, www.richardfain.net. Sign up for the paid membership club, the paid mentorship club, and you get access to me for 90 minutes where we do deep dives into information like this that this last person just asked about laundromats. See, a lot of people don't know that, but I have that experience because I've been in the banking industry for 25 years working with commercial clients. of all types of businesses, from construction to real estate to retail, you name it. I had clients and I worked with them because they borrowed money from us. I was a lender. So I had a chance to look at their balance sheets, their income statements, find out about their businesses, look at business plans. I did all that stuff for 25 years as a banker. I'm just not some guy that just popped on YouTube with who read a book. No, I was a commercial banker for 25 years. So, and invested in real estate for 25 years. Stock market for 25 years. Side hustles for 15 years. So, hey, you do what you feel like you need to do. But again, I appreciate you rocking with me on the YouTube platform. But guys, that membership club is going to be lit. So get over to the website, check it out. Check it out. Join the paid membership club. Also, pick up some of them digital products. Also, get down to that description box and click on that Moomoo link. I don't know what you're waiting on. You're going to get 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 stocks. Guys, don't miss out on that free stock and that free money. I've already told you how to use the account once you get it. Up to you what you want to do. All right, we got a few more in here before we get out of here, so let's get to them. The last not last live stream, but the last Q&A on YouTube. We about to end this thing and we got some super chats. Here we go. Light of Hope. Thank you for the super chat. I wish I knew you well before the pandemic. I lost 10K plus due to FOMO. This is just in Tesla. How do you identify FOMO? Example, NVIDIA these days. See, you got to understand FOMO is caused by what? Demand. Or people, what's the what does it mean? Fear of missing out. Nobody wants to miss out on anything, right? So what do people do? Anytime something starts going up, most retail investors, most people who are not, who are not really savvy at this, what do they think? I don't want to miss out on that. I don't want to miss out on that. So what do? They jump on the bandwagon. And when they jump on the bandwagon, it runs the price up. The problem is, at some point, it peaks. And if you haven't jumped off that bandwagon before it peaked and started back down, that's when you get stuck. Now, how do you prevent that? Well, you dollar cost average into the market every 365 days a year. I'm not saying you got to make an investment in the market every day, but your money has to be invested through dollar cost averaging 365 days a year. So not only do you take advantage of the boom, but you also buy shares of your favorite companies at a discount when they go down. And then when they go back up again, they go down. So over 10 years, your cost per share is lower than somebody out here trying to time the market, like perhaps you did. All you had to have done is just stayed in Tesla. You'd have been fine. But you bailed. Why? Because your investment strategy wasn't long-term. You had a short-term investment strategy. You jumped on the bandwagon and not knowing Tesla does this all the time, it would come back. You bailed. So you didn't really lose the 10 grand because Tesla went down. You lost the 10 grand because you bailed on the investment too early. So I tell you guys, you got to have a 10-year window, man. Your mentality has to be a 10-year window. You can't be in here, in and out of this stuff like you really know what you're doing when we don't. And that's no knock on Hope of Light. That's just us in general. That's why I tell you guys, do you ever hear me panic when Tesla goes down to $100, $140 a share? What do I always say when it goes below 150? I'm buying. I got money in Tesla already. A long-term position that goes up and down. Right now, it's probably down 30, 40 grand. Am I panicking? No, because I know in 10 years it'll be fine. I know in 10 years it'll be fine. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about that. But you got to have a long-term mentality and understanding cycles of the stock market, and you'll be okay. But I think for you with NVIDIA, no brainer for me. No brainer. No brainer. No brainer. They own 80% of the market share in their niche. It's a no-brainer for me. What I'm going to do with NVIDIA is I'm just going to short-term it. I do long-term as well, but I'm just going to short-term it. I already told y'all my strategy. Anytime I can make $100 a share on NVIDIA, I'm buying it. period. Anytime. I'm buying it. See, the thing is, even back in 22, guys, when my portfolio was down by 20% in 2022, I had 75% of my net worth in the stock market. It was down by 20% in 22. Did I panic? What did I do? I bought more because I knew the downturn wouldn't last. I knew at some point it would go back up because I was in all big boy blue chip. I wasn't in Hertz Rent-A-Car. I wasn't in these little, I was in big boy blue chip. So I know it's coming back. I was in the S&P 500, man. I was in information technology. I was in the Magnificent Seven. I was in Bank of America, Wells Fargo, two of the largest banks in the country. I knew it was temporary. So I didn't panic. I just kept buying more. And then what happened in 23? Went to the moon. So hopefully that helps, Hope of Light. You gotta have a long-term outlook, guys. You gotta stay in these positions long enough. You can't panic because somebody on CNN says, oh, the world's coming to an end. You better get out now. That's what the 1% want you to do. Tahir Jones. Hey, Tahir, appreciate you, man. Let's get to your super chat because we got to get out of here. Did you ever gamble or sports bet? Not my thing. Nope. I don't do gambling. I don't do no sports betting. I don't do any of that stuff. Because I already know. Come on, let's be honest, guys. These people in Vegas, these online gambling places, they're making trillions and trillions of dollars off people who gamble. Because 99% of people who gamble don't know what they're doing. They don't. They don't know what they're doing. They just out there, somebody on Instagram told me he gave me his betting tickets on Instagram. Come on, man. You gonna get your betting information from somebody on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube? Oh, I'm in the gamblers Discord on YouTube. Listen, man, forget that gambling crap. You can't win. Do you believe Vegas would exist if people could actually win? Have you ever been to Vegas? Have you been in those hotels? Have you ever really went and looked at the gambling industry and looked at how much money they make? Go out on Google and find out. Go out on Google and figure out what percentage of people actually win. You wouldn't bet. I'd rather put my money in the S&P 500. I'd rather put my money in NVIDIA. But me going and put my money on, San Francisco 49ers are going to win today. No, man. That's a waste of money. But again, that's a shortcut. That's a shortcut. That's a shortcut. No different than going buying lottery tickets. It's just a shortcut. And we already know when it comes to finance. Matter of fact, when it comes to anything in this world, we already know shortcuts don't work out for 99% of people. Every now and then somebody will hit it. But 99% of people, because if everybody was, listen, you know how many people pay the lottery? You know what the odds are that you'll hit the Powerball? It's 300 million to 1. So your chance to hit a Powerball is 300 million to 1. Now, who take those type of odds? Come on, man, that's ridiculous. 300 million to 1, you're more likely to get struck by lightning twice in the same spot than to win the Powerball. You do know that. So no, I don't gamble. It's a waste of money. I'd rather just put my money in the big three. Well, appreciate you guys. I appreciate you rocking with me. I'm about ready to get out of here. Listen, man, it's been real in the Q&As on YouTube. Hey, if you want to continue the Q&As, if you want to continue being mentored by me, a deep dive mentoring, then get yourself over to my website, second link down in the description box. Join the paid mentorship club. We're kicking off our very first 90-minute live stream on Monday. And again, man, it's going to be great. Like I said, it's going to be a small group of us, and that's okay. That's what I intended. But I wanted the financial investment so that's real, so that you come prepared with your questions. So anybody in the membership club, in the chat, be ready. Have your questions together. All financial questions will be answered and let's get you to closer to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So get over to the website, grab some digital products, and then sign up for that mentorship group, because that's the only place you'll be able to get Q&As, and that's it. We won't get them anymore on YouTube. Also, get down in the description box, click on that Moomoo link, open up your new Moomoo account today, put $100 in it. They're gonna give you 10 free fractional shares of the Magnificent 7 stocks: Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Alphabet, Amazon, Tesla, and NVIDIA. 10 free fractional shares when you put the $100 in your account. So don't miss that opportunity. Don't delay. Get down to the description box today. Click on that Moomoo link. Last thing, hit the link down in the description box for the Instagram account, Richard Fane Millionaire Mentor. Give me a follow, and then send me a DM and let me know you're rocking with me. Well, appreciate you guys. Lock it in with a thumbs up before you get out here. I'm getting ready to get out of here, finish up my Sunday. Got some things to get ready to prepare for tomorrow for the live stream on the mentorship group. So looking forward to that and seeing all the wonderful folks there. Really, really appreciate that. Got one last super chat here from Antoine. I think it's Antoine Harris. Longtime viewer. What about position sizing? 50 shares, 100 shares, and of course, thank you. Well, I think that's all, predicated on what you're trying to get accomplished. Again, guys, my strategy is 50, 30, 20, period. Now, whatever shares that means, it means. I'm not really concerned so much right now about the shares. I'm concerned about the growth. So it's 50, 30, 20. 50% goes into an S&P 500 ETF. 30% goes into an information technology ETF. And then 20% goes into the Mag 7. That's it for me. So whatever I can buy with that lump sum of money that I'm putting in every month, I get. The goal is overall at the end of 10 years, I double the net worth. So the most important thing for me is knowing the dollar amount I got to put in order to get an 8% return on that dollar amount in order to get to double the net worth. So once I find the dollar amount, that's how much I put in. Whatever shares I'm able to buy with it, great. I'm really concerned about the dollar amount. So if I got to put in, $10,000 a month, and if I can do that every month over the next 10 years, I know if I can get an 8% return on average, this is what it's going to create for me. And honestly, that's what I concern myself is what the dollar amount is. I don't really concern myself with the shares. I concern myself with what's the dollar amount of my nest egg, because then I can take that dollar amount and put it in the income when I'm done with the growth part of it. So hopefully that answered your question. Nothing wrong with position sizing when you're looking for stocks and things like that, but I'm more interested in the dollar amount. When I buy NVIDIA, I don't really, I know the shares because that's what they turn into when I put my money in there, but I really say to myself, okay, I just put $50,000 in NVIDIA. I want to at least make 10 grand on it. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? That's how I think about it. But each his own. I'm just worried about the dollar amount. I just want to know what can I get out of that. So hopefully that answered your question, and appreciate you rocking with me. Well, thank you guys. Have the rest of a great Sunday. Like I said, get down to the description box, click on those links, support your boy, just like I'm going to support you. All you mentorship club members, I'll see you on Monday in the Monday live stream. Looking forward to that. It's going to be great. We're going to be kicking off the very first one. So hopefully the majority of y'all can make it. I think we schedule it at a time that's appropriate that most people can get there. Plus we'll have some playback as well if you do miss it. So, and again, I want to just say a big shout out and thank you to my membership club members, my mentorship club members. Thank you. Appreciate y'all rocking with me, believing in me, and then putting your money where your mouth is. Right? Putting your money where you want to go, which is wealth. And we're going to get you there. My goal is to help get each and every one of you there. So thank you guys. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.